Easter Sunday. And if you don't celebrate any of those things, happy Sunday to you. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist and author, and I am on today's broadcast to have a discussion about how we can use Resurrection Sunday to motivate personal change. And I'm hoping that somebody who needs to hear this message today will hear it. I'm not going to be before you too long because I have a hot digital monopoly game that I am going to continue with the wife and daughter today. That's how we're relaxing. But I pray everything is well with you. Now, I just want to go through some particulars because I want to make sure that I go through everything. First, thank you so much for joining in and having some time with me, spending some time with me. We're being seen on a couple different platforms, so I don't know if I'll be able to see all of the comments. But what I like to normally do is go back through the various formats and I will respond when need be. So I simply want to say thank you as well. And as you guys know, I am the owner of Belvin Consulting as well as Belvin Publishing. I counsel as well as I help authors self-publish their work. That is my lane, and that's what I stick to. And so I offer assistance. I'm a problem solver. And what I'm going to be trying to do in these broadcasts is just offer something to give you some thought and a way for you to consider reaching out and deciding what's the best route for you. So, with that said, let's get into today's message, right? And I made sure I took some notes because I wanted to make sure I discussed this the right way. Now, you guys know today is Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday. So, what does that mean? For us Christians, and I am a Christian, I have no problem saying that because I don't push my faith on anyone. For us Christians, this is the anchor of our faith day. This is the culmination of a lot that goes on in the Christian faith with the resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Now, I do want to say this, and I'll say this all the time. If you're not a Christian, and if you're not a person that practices the faith, that does not mean that my message won't apply to you, because it will. But for those who are Christians, the reason why this day is so special, it is because this is the day that Jesus Christ, the person that we should be modeling ourselves after, resurrected from the dead after taking on the sins of the world and overcame all of those sins and death itself to be able to serve notice to those who followed him, and for those that tried to kill him, that he was greater than people thought. And he did it the whole time with compassion. He did it without lashing out and trying to harm other people. He didn't have to backstab anybody, do anybody dirty. He came with a mission, a goal in mind. He knew that it was going to be a very difficult goal. He made sure he taught and prepared other people while he was on this mission. And then when the mission was complete, excuse me, I'm sorry. He calls out to God in heaven and says, "It is done." Now, what does any of this have to do with making personal change? Well, actually, it has a lot to do with it. Because what you saw in what I just explained to you is that Resurrection Sunday is the culmination of all that work, the preparation, all those years of traveling, all those miracles, all of those opportunities to spend time with the disciples and the people out and about, the teaching, the the feeding, the time spent talking to God, the time spent talking to the devil. Yeah, he's in the mix too. So Resurrection Sunday is a culmination for that. So for any of us who are struggling with personal things within ourselves and we're trying to find that balance, this is a good day to use as motivation for making very difficult choices and changes in your life. Because I'm not asking you to become Jesus. I'm not asking you that. What I'm asking you to do is learn from what we see in Jesus's trek. Because I think we spend too much time debating if Jesus was real or not, debating if the Bible is real and all of that. I don't get into that with folks. I don't. And the reason why is because it's my book, my holy book that I use, that I look to for guidance. But there are messages and things there that everyone could use. So when we get to Resurrection Sunday, and you have to go through the whole process of him being pinned on the cross, him being put into the grave, him then moving himself out of it. Many of us are on that type of cross in our personal lives right now, for whatever reason, bad decisions or just trying to help other people, whatever it is. Many of us are in a state of crucifixion because of things that have happened in our past. Some of us are inside the grave where we just feel like that's it. Ain't nothing else for me. But there's a select few of us who have figured it out. There are many of us who have figured out that there's a turning point that can be made. There's more out there than just this. I can restart my life. I can resurrect my life. And it's happening every day, even in the midst of a pandemic, even in the midst of all these deaths. And for me, when I was sitting and thinking about it, when I said this was something I wanted to talk about, I was like, what's my example for this? I'll use myself like I do most of the time. Many of you who know me and have did business with me know that I left New York in 2016. I left early. I retired early because I did not want my daughter to start school in New York. And so I took an early retirement. I came here to Delaware. I was in grad school, going back to get my second master's degree. And I walked away from $96,000. But I had a plan. My trek started in 2015. When I made the decision of what I was going to do, I knew it was going to be difficult. I knew that people were going to think that I was foolish. I knew that some people was going to simply hate. Hey, Santos. I knew that some people was going to hate the decision I was going to make because it was affecting them, because I was a pretty good teacher and dean of students. I was an educator and dean of students. The school asked me to stay. The school said, any way that you could maybe commute. The kids were like, Mr. B, don't leave. But when you're committed to making changes, and my commitment was to my daughter, my commitment was to my wife, and my commitment was to my faith, and more importantly, my commitment was to myself. I made the move. So from 2016, we get here, and it was rough. And I found that when I did apply to work, I kept hearing I was overqualified. And a lot of schools, 116 different applications sent out to various schools here in the state of Delaware. And I only got like 4 interviews. One job offer that there was no way I could take it at the rate of pay that they would offer, because I was still struggling on how I was going to do this on my own. So I understand when Jesus shows up and he has to now to try to build the team. That's what he did, build the disciples. And then on that trek to get to Resurrection Sunday, he already knew what the outcome was going to be. The people around him didn't. And so he's building and he's growing and he's grinding and he's saving lives and he's being treated badly and everything that's going on. And I'm not going to go through all of the scriptures for you, but you understand that he had a lot to deal with from the time he shows up to the time he gets to this Sunday. And the reason why that connects with me is because there was a point when I got so frustrated in what I was trying to do for myself. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I was trying to do. I had 2 businesses, but I just didn't feel I was where I was. I felt like I was kind of drowning. So this past summer, in the midst of a pandemic, actually pre-summer, about May, I made the decision to get a business coach. I had great mentors around me. Shout out to Brian Groves over in Europe. I had great mentors and I have a great supportive wife, but I just felt something was missing. So I made the decision to reach out to Glenn P. Brooks Jr. You can check him out on YouTube. You can check him out on Clubhouse, IG, Facebook, Glenn P. Brooks Jr. Now, here's the important thing. Glenn had already connected with me way back in 2015 just to reach out before he grew himself into the big time coach that he is. And over that 5 years, I was able to stay connected to him and watch him grow organically. And so in 2020, when I finally felt that I needed some help and I was drowning, I reached out to Glenn. And what Glenn did was he presented me with his system. And again, you may say, what does any of this have to do with Resurrection Sunday? Well, it has to do with having a starting point to where you want to go. Having a starting point and making the decision that things just aren't where they need to be. And that if I put in the work and if I do the things, I can get there. So hence, let me go back to Glenn. So when Glenn reintroduced himself to me and said, brother, I'm here if you ever need me, it was almost as if God sent him to me. But what I did was I checked with my wife and I said, what do you think? And she said, ain't nothing wrong with it. You've talked about him before, but if you're going to rock with him, make sure you apply what you're going to learn or it's going to be a waste of time and money, which I had done in the past. And so I did that. And my trek, my journey shifted. I now moved into a different direction, different mindset. Goal was still the same, but now I had new ammunition on my pathway. And once I got in motion in a different direction with a different way of thinking, different things started to happen. My head rose above water, started to breathe freely. And then Glenn introduced me to his community. And the reason why that connects to what we're talking about with Resurrection Sunday is if you look at what Jesus built, if you look at what Jesus took the disciples, the journey he took the disciples on, it was to prepare them that when he goes, they were in position to be able to operate without him. And Resurrection Sunday is the jump off of that. You guys now got to go without me. Many of us don't see today as a starting point because many of us are too busy focusing on the end. But resurrection is the restoration. It is being raised up. And we talk about it all the time. He has risen. Well, why can't you? Why can't you resurrect whatever the goal was? Maybe you fell away from it. Why can't you resurrect your education? Why can't you resurrect your fitness plan? Why can't you resurrect the relationship? Now I am a crisis specialist. I've written 5 books. I now know what it is that I am doing, but not that I didn't know before, but I'm clear on it. I know who I am. I know what I do. I know who I want to work with, and I know why I work with them. And I needed that assistance from having a coach in my life. Now that my coach gave me instructions, and now that my coach said, okay, here's the play. It's on me to run it. It's on me to go out and hit those spots and hit those shots. And I want one last point. And I want to go off topic just real quick. If anybody saw the ending of the Gonzaga game last night, Gonzaga is undefeated right now. It came down to them having to hit a buzzer beater at the end. But you know what? And I promise you this, without having ever been in a Gonzaga practice, I know for a fact, having coached basketball myself, every big time coach has practiced last second shots. And you want the proof? Go back and watch the replay of last night's game. The gentleman from UCLA takes the shot. He misses, gets his own rebound, puts it back up. He scores with 3.3 seconds left on the clock. Gonzaga takes the ball out. Watch what every member of the Gonzaga team does. They move into position. I believe we're trying to reconnect. So let me just see what's going on here, because I see it says it's connecting. So I'm sorry. This is the Delaware. This is the internet in the Delaware in Delaware. So please hang out while it's reconnecting. I'm hoping that you can still see me. Okay, there we go. I see it's coming back. It says connected. Okay, it says it's connecting. So when you're out in the country, you have to deal with stuff like that. But I hope the audio wasn't lost. So if you look at all of the members of the Gonzaga team, they all knew where to go. They all knew what position to be in. And when the point guard came to get the ball, he knew where he was supposed to go. He knew to come get the see what's going on here. I'm sorry. Okay, it says we're still connected, but I'm not sure. All right, we're going to go with it. Listen, you just know it's live, not Memorex. All right, here we go. The point guard knew to get the ball, push it up the court, get a shot off. But if you look at the calmness of the way the Gonzaga players moved, you know that they were well coached. That is what good coaching does. It allows you to place yourself in a position. Now, you still may have to hit a luck basket. You still may have to throw something up and pray that it goes in, because that's actually what happened. And again, if you guys can hear me, cool. But the positioning, the knowing where to go, the knowing who takes the ball out so you don't have four people rushing to take the ball out and nobody up the court. Everybody knew where they were supposed to be. And in doing so, they gave themselves a chance to win. And the guy hits a shot off the glass, and now Gonzaga's in the finals, and they're still undefeated. So again, what does any of this have to do with Resurrection Sunday? This could be the start for you. Today could be the day that you decide to start my new journey. Resurrect my and be you need a coach. What I set out to do. Maybe you set out. Maybe you need to go back and look over go to scriptures. Maybe you need to figure some things out, because the disciples had to now restart. Their Messiah was dead. They heard him talk, but now he's dead, and now he's back. And so you have to understand what's going on around you and push past that once you make this decision to resurrect whatever it is in your life that you need to do. And again, I'm sorry because I can't see my there it is. Okay, there we go. I can see myself now. I hope that you've been able to hear me. But once you make that decision, once you fully understand that you want to do this, then I simply would suggest to you to go out here and make it happen. And today is a great day for that. Now, one of the things that I never like to end a broadcast without saying is how. How do you do that? Well, first, I'm here. I am somebody that you can talk to. I am a problem solver. I am somebody that spends time studying ways to be able to help you figure out whatever it is wrong. I'm counseling people all day, every day. Now, I didn't take any cases today. Today is my day off, and yesterday evening that was it. And I'm not doing too much on Monday because I'm just relaxing. My daughter's on spring break. My wife is on vacation. So like I said, as soon as I'm done here, I'm getting back to my Monopoly game on Switch. So again, I really hope the how is to start deciding what it is that you want to resurrect. What is it that you're after? Second, check your resources. And if you're not sure, come talk to me. We'll put something together. We'll figure something out, because you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan, and you got to have goals. Now, once you check your resources, this is when you might need to make the decision that you need a coach and you need a counselor. Counselor just to help you get your thoughts together, get yourself in position to be ready, and then a coach to actually help you build a system. And with that system, then push on out here and do what you got to do. And then you got to put the work in. Jesus had to put the work in. And imagine knowing you're going to be crucified. Imagine knowing you're going to be beat. Imagine knowing all this negativity is going to happen. And you're going to do it all to save other people. Imagine knowing that from the beginning. Most people wouldn't even start. But that's the motivation that we can gain from the resurrection, is that he did all that for somebody else. So imagine if you step into shoes and do some of that. You don't have to do it all. But imagine if you use that as motivation to push yourself where you need to be. Good things will happen. Now, does it mean that everything that you go after you're going to get? Law of averages say no. But it means that you've given yourself a great chance. And when you have a great chance, well, as we saw last night with Gonzaga, when you give yourself a great chance, great things happen. That was a shot for the ages that will be replayed forever. That shot last night becomes a part of NCAA lore. Every time they show you the tournament, they're going to show you that shot. And if Gonzaga wins the championship tomorrow, they will say this was the shot that freed them up to win the game. If they win tomorrow. And even if they lose, they're going to say they had to overcome this to get to there. So either way, they're in a good spot. Now, of course, I'm rooting to hope they win because I just like good stories. So, again, I don't want to stay in front of you any longer than I have to. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my connection here. So I'm praying that you guys can see me. But I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist and author. I specialize in solving problems. I work mostly with women, believe it or not. And through those women, they actually convince the brothers to come and work with me. I do work with children as well. I do this because it is my ministry. It is how I give back to those who were there for me and those who needed someone like I needed someone. And I make myself available. So if you want to reach out to me to set up a free call, let's do it. Let's talk. BravenConsulting.com, www.bravenconsulting.com. And you can set up a free call. The discovery call is free. I look forward to talking to you. I look forward to seeing if I'm the person that can help you. And if I am not the person to help you, then I will simply work with you to find somebody who can, because I can't solve every problem. And I do have a very strict rule. If I cannot help, I will not hurt. Also, my other website, bravenpublishing.com, is where you can find all my books. I've written 5 books. I'm an award-winning author at that. And one of my favorite books, From Gigolo to Jesus. Yeah, I said it, From Gigolo to Jesus. I explain to you how I went from being a nasty whore of a man. Yes, I said it. A nasty whore of a man to being a loving husband and man of God. So when I say I understand what it takes for personal transformation, Lord, do I understand. I went through my own personal, physical, emotional transformation. And it's not easy to go from chasing panties to being the loving husband. And I reached out to Derek Jackson. I'm like, I'm here to help you too, bro, if you want to figure out how to get past it. Didn't hear back from him, but, I made the offer because I would love to work with him and his wife to be able to help him understand that he could come back from this, but he has to embrace what he did. And that's what I'm saying to all of you. So I'm going to end with Resurrection Sunday could be the day that you resurrect whatever it is that you dreamt of being, dreamt of doing. And if you use the story of Jesus Christ, what happened before this day and what happened at the end of this day, you will see that he put things into motion that set the disciples up to really go out and do some great things. You could do that for yourself. And if you want to talk about it more, if you want to have a time to sit down, I'm here. I look forward to it. Simply because I get it and I want to be here. And you'll see my hashtags. Let me say this to you. One of my hashtags is "We Can Fix This." And it just simply means that I believe that if you and I get together, we can find a solution to your problem. My other hashtag is bring your pain to me. Bring me your pain, excuse me. Bring me your pain. Yes. It just simply means bring me your problem. Bring me your problems. I want that. And we'll sit down and we'll figure it out. Now, not too many people are asking you to bring your problems. Most people are trying to sell you something. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm simply saying, bring what's wrong to me, lay it at my feet, and let's sift through this trash together. I'll throw my gloves on with you and let's get into it and figure it out and get you started on whatever the new journey is going to be for you. And Resurrection Sunday is a great day to start. I don't know who needed to hear this. I pray that those of you that have, it did something for you. Please leave your comments in the comment section on whatever platform that you're listening. Leave me your thoughts. And if you need to reach out to me, just hit my DMs and I will gladly respond. And I look forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Please be safe. And remember, even with the inoculations, this is still a pandemic going on. Be safe and be smart. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, award-winning author, and somebody who wants to help. Take care. God bless.